Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Wednesday, December 27th. Welcome to our video commentary. Today we're going to go back to December 1972, do a little memory lane history lesson, as we like to do from time to time. A couple of things happened in December 1972 that were pretty significant. The first one happened to be the Apollo program. As you may remember, that was the program like Apollo 11, Apollo 13. Those were the lunar missions back in the late 60s. Well, in December 1972, nobody knew this at the time, but Apollo 17 became the very last time that man went to the moon. We've never been back since. And for many of us who grew up watching, Apollo and Gemini, we used to watch them in school. The teachers would put this on television so we can watch the launch and all of that. They were very exciting times, and I hope that future generations will have something like that, because the country really came together every time you had one of these Apollos going up or whatever. I remember the excitement that Sunday afternoon when we were watching Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong walking on the moon. I was with my parents in the living room. It was just absolutely astonishing, the idea that we were watching man walking on the moon. And then, of course, the world really came together on Apollo 13 when everybody around the world was thinking and praying for the safety of the Apollo 13 astronauts. So great memories of the lunar missions and those space missions. And I know that we do things now, but certainly I hope that someday young people will once again have the opportunity to watch and enjoy those kinds of experiences like we did with the lunar mission and some of the other space missions. The other thing that happened on this month, December 1972, was what came to be known as the Christmas bombing, and that was a situation in Vietnam. The war had practically ended by December of 1972. We had won the war. It was simply a formality of signing the peace agreement. But the North Vietnamese were playing games, and they kept delaying. And finally, Secretary Kissinger had enough, so he came back to the White House. He met with President Nixon, and they decided to pretty much unleash some of the toughest bombing of North Vietnam that there had ever been in the war. It was officially known as Operation Linebacker. That was the name of the operation. But of course, it also came to be known as the Christmas bombing. Well, after about 10 days of that bombing, the North Vietnamese said, "Where do we sign?" And they signed the agreement, and then North and South were recognized in January of 1973. And of course, the other important part of the agreement was the return of the POWs, and that happened in March of 1973. But there's a big lesson from this Christmas bombing for future presidents. And that is that when you exercise American power, and you do so effectively, as President Nixon did with the Christmas bombing, you can get things done. I mean, you can get things done. And it was President Nixon who got that peace treaty signed because he was willing to use American force to make his point, which he did, of course. And the North Vietnamese came back to the table. Now, Vietnam fell apart after that, particularly in 74, 75, for other reasons that have nothing to do with the Christmas bombing. And that could be the topic of another commentary. But we remember the Christmas bombing, as it was known. Operation Linebacker was the official name of 1972, and we remember the last lunar mission, also in December of 1972. Thank you for watching. We have all of these commentaries over at YouTube, at Twitter, and my blog. And I'm going to have a post, by the way, on Thursday morning about the Christmas bombing, Operation Linebacker. So if you check my blog on Thursday morning, you'll be able to get a lot more details about that amazing military operation 45 years ago. Thank you for watching. Everybody have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas. Bye-bye.